Looking at that, what do you take away from the playoff standings? Looking at that,
We're joined by
I'm in the
Brad
top
Keselowski,
16. Is that what that is? Playoff standings?
yeah. There's the order.
You know, all these numbers get so confusing that they just disappear.
Is there a number you kind of key on?
Different parts of the season, yes. Probably my biggest number I cue on is, X-File on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
I love his stat page. He's got the best stat page. And I've told NASCAR that. Like, they should just copy his stat page.
What do you look for on there?
Stage points, like total season stage points, average finish.
Yeah.
Those are the only two that really matter to me. If I get, like, really into statistical analysis, I'll look. He does like a look back on, like, the last 5 or 7 races.
Yeah.
Which is good, like, who's hot and who's
You
cold.
can see who's hot.
Yeah.
And
Or
that
cold.
is pretty crazy how much it changes. You think
In
by
a
the
season.
time you realize somebody has cooled off or gotten hot, sometimes you don't realize. And you're like, oh, wow, look at the last couple races, the
Yes.
last few races. Suddenly,
Yep.
they're coming on strong. Yeah. I
And
feel that's
nobody's
a very
talking about it.
overlooked
You know,
thing
like
in NASCAR.
Tyler Reddick, to me. Like, we saw Tyler get hot, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks ago. And, like, nobody was talking about it.
Right.
And it was, like, really clear to me. And you could see it on all his stuff. You're like, oh, this guy, I think I stopped him somewhere, Tyler, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. I'm like, man, you got a great shot of winning the regular season title. And nobody's talking about it. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know. I just hope I don't screw it up.
Yeah.
And then he just went on the stretch. And I think he went from, like, 7th or 8th in points to the points lead. And
Yeah.
what about?
But how do we
7
know?
races?
How do we know it's real? That's what gets me about, like, let's say somebody has a couple good races. You've always said, hey, a couple races is a small sample size.
Yeah.
Once you need a bigger sample size. I guess I'm kind of hesitant to get too overhyped when somebody suddenly shows speed, because I'm like, was it just this track, or
Yeah.
So how do we really know? You know
I think
what
you
I'm
look
saying?
at genres of tracks. Like someone being fast at Richmond, that's not going to carry anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's fast at, let's say, Kansas, like, oh, yeah, that's going to carry. Things of that nature.
Okay.
I look at track types, and then you can kind of, like, lump them together, what matters and what doesn't.
Yeah.
When you look at the playoffs, especially round 1, are you looking forward to Atlanta? Because you're great on super speedways. You guys
Yeah.
typically run well there. Ford runs well there. Or are you kind of in that camp where you're kind of dreading it, going, man, like I feel like this is out of my hand?
Dreading it. Those races, sometimes you just get wrecked. And you're like, gosh, there's nothing I can do about it. And that might happen to us. But it's been a good track for me, even before it was redone. But after the rework, whatever they're calling that thing, it's been still pretty good for us. So I'm pretty optimistic about it. I just hope we don't get wrecked.
So we just recently did 12 questions, and you said the number one thing on your bucket list is to win a second championship.
Yes.
So let's say a magical genie comes along and says, all right, we'll make you a deal. If you stand on top of pit road wall and you jump off pit road wall and you land directly on your knees, both knees, like knees first, you hold
Okay.
your legs behind, but you win the championship if you're willing to do this. Would you take that deal, or would you just say,
That's
you know
a
what?
very
I-
random way to be
It's
injured.
it's
Isn't that your question? Basically, would you injure yourself to win a
yeah,
championship?
basically.
Well,
He
you
thought
don't know
of it.
how bad it would. I mean, I've
Like,
never
how
landed
permanent
on
of an
my
injury
knee.
are we talking here?
Would it even be an injury? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, it would hurt.
It's
It would
gonna
hurt.
It's going to leave bruises.
I'm going to say
sure.
you're going to walk funny for a month or two.
You could break your
Yeah.
knee easily.
You could dislocate your kneecap. I
So, okay,
guess.
let's play it this way.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, 2 dislocated knees, broken knees.
But you're a champion.
Yeah, I would take that.
Okay.
2 knees for 2 championships. That's what you're going to have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
See,
there's,
that was a lot easier than I thought.
there's enough quality doctors out there that I think you could get recovered from that.
Yeah.
But you'd be giving your acceptance speech in Charlotte, like
okay.
like on cast. They wheel out you in a wheelchair.
Modern medicine's pretty amazing.
He broke his leg at Atlanta.
Well,
in
it
the
wasn't my
ankle.
leg, it was
It was
my
an
ankle.
ankle.
but-
ankle. Yeah.
Facts matter.
But yeah, I mean, but no, I'm okay. Like, modern medicine, it's great.
Yeah. Okay. Be all right.
We have no idea how good we have it. Like, I was thinking about this the other day, like 150 years ago, if you're like, oh, I've got an ulcer, I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
now today it's like, oh, I broke both my knees. I'll be back in 3 weeks.
But I got a championship.
Yep. Like, now, if this was like the 1800s, I'd be like, no, I would die.
Right. That's true.
But today, you're like, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Some great doctors out there. I'm sure they can glue me back together.
That will not be the most random question you probably get today, by the way, as you go through all these stations.
We'll see. I'm not sure I believe that or not yet.
Come back and report.
I will do that.